Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 12th edition here of the Reynolds Sports Report on the Misfits. I am your host, Jude Reynolds Ocanas, as always, and it's beautiful to be back, guys. You know, I took a week hiatus. It was actually, I have to say, it was a ton of fun working this summer, obviously, as a play-by-play broadcaster for the Caneo Oaks, who are part of this bigger league called the California Collegiate League. And, you know, as the MLB All-Star kind of had their, or MLB, I should say, had their All-Star break, we had our California Collegiate League showcase break, and it was a ton of fun. They had a game on Wednesday down at the MLB Youth Academy, but I had a small hiatus, went to go visit the parents up north. So I'm back here, and there's been a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about, but there's no better place to start than what's in our backyard here in Los Angeles than the Los Angeles Dodgers. Because the Los Angeles Dodgers, by the title and what you're reading right here, are in the dumps. Now, the Dodgers just pulled away with a victory, a 5-2 win over the Twins today. So they're sort of back, but they won a 7-game losing streak pretty much right before the All-Star break. You know, they got 2 wins versus the San Francisco Giants, which kind of ended that just as they went to the All-Star break. But really, they've been struggling in the whole month of July, including today's win. They are now 6-10 in the month of July and have lost 10 of their last 13 games. So what is the issue with the Dodgers? Why are the Dodgers struggling all of a sudden? The team that spent $1 billion during, the off season just 2 years ago, they've continuously brought in talent every off season, coming off a championship in 2024. Why are they struggling? Well, simply the batters aren't showing up. That's the biggest thing. Before today's game, the Dodgers were 30th in hits. They were 30th in OPP. They were 27th in RBIs, 23rd in home runs in the last 15 days of playing baseball. That's terrible. They were dead last in batting average, batting 196 in the past 15 days. Now, in this, kind of slump that the Dodgers have been going through, they've lost twice. They've been swept twice by the Brewers and swept once by the Astros. Really, the only glimmer of success that we've seen in these past 15 days have been the 3-game series up in the Bay versus the San Francisco Giants that they took 2 out of 3 games. So the struggle right now, like I mentioned, is the bats. The pitching has been on and off. They're kind of dead center when it comes to their pitching really efficiency in the month of July. But I think the bigger question is, do we sound the alarms over something like this? Are we saying, oh, this is something we really have to worry about? And to be quite frank with you, I don't think it is. I think the Dodgers, the position that they are in right now, they still have a lead in the NL West. Now, it has dwindled. They're only 3.5 games or 4.5 games above, the San Francisco Giants at this point in the Padres. But there's no reason to sound the alarm bells if you are the Los Angeles Dodgers or even the fan base at this point. We're still kind of in the middle of July. Postseason baseball isn't for another 2 months. The Dodgers are still waiting to get Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki back on the mound. And truly, at the end of the day, players go through struggles at the plate. Covering a baseball team all summer long, I've seen it firsthand. I've seen guys who started the season 0-11 from the plate and have become a key contributor to our team. So players are going to go through slumps. And right now it's the whole roster that's going through a slump when it comes to being at the plate and being effective, but it happens to everybody. And so I'm not going to overreact and say, oh, this is it for the Dodgers. That this is it. They're not going to be able to go back to back, because come postseason time, we've seen what a Shohei Ohtani can do. We've seen what a Freddie Freeman can do. And I know Mookie Betts is struggling right now, but come postseason, we've seen it enough. We know his pedigree when it comes to postseason baseball. He'll most likely step up. Will Smith, even Teoscar Hernandez. So I think when you look as a whole of the Dodgers, there's no need to panic. There's really no need to panic. Now, if these were issues that were happening in September, yeah, you can ring the alarm bells a little bit louder, because you're less than a month away from postseason baseball and you're still having these issues. We're still in July. People forget we still have the whole month of August, still have the whole month of September. That's 2 full months of baseball that is still yet to be played. So the Dodgers are going to be fine, guys. Let's take a chill pill at this exact moment, because the Dodgers, they will be back. We know that. We've seen what they did in the postseason last year. I'm truthfully not worried. They sit at 59-42 right now. We can relax. But I don't want to get further into the Dodgers because, we'll see what happens. It's mid-July baseball. But I want to bring back our reoccurring segment, the Winner's Circle starting five. And if you're not familiar with the Winner's Circle starting five, if you delivered when your team needed you the most, you get on this week's edition of the Winner's Circle starting five. So what we're going to do, actually, since I missed a week, I'm actually going to start with what happened last weekend. Just give love to two guys that really deserve it. And that's first going to be Jannik Sinner, who became the first ever Italian to win Wimbledon. He defeated Carlos Alcaraz in 3-1 sets. And you got to give props to Jannik Sinner. I mean, you knew the pressure he was on going into this tournament, and he was able to respond, get the win. And even after losing 4 straight points in the first set, he came back and won 3-1. Congratulations to Jannik Sinner, first Italian to ever do it on grass in Wimbledon. Another guy, another European competition that was here in America was Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer had 3 goal contributions in the FIFA Club World Cup final to defeat PSG 4-0. Belt to ass is what we call that here in America, because my God, Chelsea put it all on PSG, and PSG was trying to go for the quadruple. And we talked about it on the show just 2 weeks ago of the ability to do it. And to be honest, I undermined Chelsea, but Cole Palmer with 2 goals and an assist could not stop the Mandem from North London. Now, moving on, got to give love to Con Knippel. The 4th overall pick of the Charlotte Hornets, coming from Duke, a stacked Duke class where we saw multiple guys go in the lottery. But Con Knippel delivered when the Charlotte Hornets needed him most. In the Summer League Championship, he dropped 21 points. He had 5 rebounds. He had 2 assists. And he even hit pretty much the game dagger 3 in the championship to give the Charlotte Hornets their first ever piece of hardware. A championship, a Summer League championship, a conference title, basically the first anything in Charlotte Hornets history. So Con Knippel delivered when his team needed the most. Another guy who did that, so defending his BMF title, that would be Max Holloway, went down to Smoothie King Arena and dominated 5 rounds versus Dustin Proirer, who we're going to get to in a sec, but really had straight command the whole entire time. His combos were landing. Really, Poirier was just playing self-defense pretty much the whole entire match, or a whole entire fight, I should say. So Max Holloway, you're on the winner's circle. And lastly, another last week kind of news that is important. Cal Raleigh, the Seattle Mariners catcher who became the first ever catcher to win the home run derby. And he did it in fashion with his father pitching, his brother catching, hit 18 home runs in the final round to now just become the first catcher and only second Mariners player ever in franchise history to win the home run derby. So the big dumper, you get a salute from me. But moving on, and I said I was going to talk about the UFC 318 because this was very exciting. And I have to say, I have a lot of friends who are a lot more tapped into the UFC scene. And I'm certainly, I have my favorites when it comes to the fighters, but I think this was beyond just, oh, this is a UFC fight. This was an event in sports history that is honestly going to be remembered for some time. Now, UFC 318 was special because Dustin Poirier, it was his retirement fight, and he brought a pay-per-view to his hometown of New Orleans in Smoothie King Arena. And I think that alone is what made this whole event kind of just special. The idea that he was able to do all of this, after just the legendary career he has, a 30-10 record, 15 knockouts. Like he was able to do this in his power, bring it to his hometown, put on a fight against Max Holloway for what was the trilogy. Now, I think we knew at this point, Dustin Poirier, a little bit obviously older than Max Holloway. Most of us assumed that Max Holloway was going to have the upper hand, and he showed it. And I'm not here to break down this fight because I truly want to talk about what happened post-fight. Now, obviously, to sum it up, Max Holloway, unanimous decision, and rightfully so, right? That you can't hear complaints from me. I know Poirier probably wasn't as satisfied with the 46 scores and backed by 2 of the 3 judges, and rightfully so. It's a retirement match. You obviously want to put it all out there. But Holloway was the better fighter. Like I mentioned earlier, he was landing the combos a lot better. He had just a lot more significant strikes in total. And so I think overall Holloway was just the better fighter that night. But this wasn't about Holloway. And that's where I want to get to about this whole UFC 318. the camaraderie between these two fighters was like nothing else you really see in sports, right? You have your rivals, and clearly these guys have battled now 3 times. And coming into this matchup, Proirer had beat Holloway both 2 times. But I think it was beautiful to see the way that Max Holloway went about this fight as totality, right? He understood that this was Dustin Poirier's last fight. He understood that this was his grand finale. And he did nothing to take away from that moment. You saw when the scores were announced and Holloway won. Obviously, Wheezy put the belt around his waist, but immediately Holloway was, this is not my moment, guys. This is Dustin Poirier's moment, and give it to him because he deserves it. And it was beautiful to watch. You have Frank Sinatra, My Way, playing across the whole entire arena, and Poirier just being serenaded by all the fans. It truly was one of those moments that I think went beyond just the sport of UFC and is going to live in kind of sports history for a long, long time. So congratulations to Dustin Poirier for the career that he had. He's tied John Jones for the second longest unbeaten streak against current, former, or future UFC champions. That would be a 5 streak right there. He's had Fight of the Night 10 times, and he's a one-time lightweight champion in UFC 236. So it's a legendary career for Dustin Poirier, and I don't think there was a better way to go off, surrounded by his family and all that. It truly was beautiful to watch. And I wish we saw more of those moments like that. And we do on occasion, but you could understand just the emotion that was going through Dustin Poirier, and even even the fans that were in the section, the family that came into the cage, like all of it really put together, and even the outro video that UFC put together. But I'll say the one disgraceful thing about it, and I don't mean to change the vibe up real quick, the fact that this was not Fight of the Night. Look, I understand that, sure, maybe this wasn't the prime Poirier versus Max Holloway fight that we all wanted. But the fact that this did not get Fight of the Night, I mean, Dana White, let's do better. Seriously, let's do better. Like, this was his moment. He should go out with a Fight of the Night. Maybe it's not like he deserves it, because granted, there were better fights. But at the end of the day, like, those better fights are still going to happen. We're not going to get more Poirier. Hell, we're not going to get more Poirier Holloway fights. So I was a little disgraced by the UFC, and the UFC, they're always, Dana White, he's always just trying to make the bread. And so I was a little disappointed from Dana White, but it didn't take away from the moment that we saw with Dustin Poirier. And once again, congratulations to him, and really, honestly, a lot of respect to Max Holloway for the way he handled it. Because I don't think Max Holloway was going to come in with, I defended my BMF title, like, y'all can't mess with me. This is my, I can't curse on here, but you know what I mean. But the fact that he instantly was like, this is not my place. This is not my place to discuss this, was beautiful. But where it is my place to discuss this, and this is going to be fun to end this, is, boy, the Dallas Cowboys. They just make me laugh at this point. I mean, truly, it's a circus, so it makes me laugh and giggle, because it is comedic, like how every season somehow Jerry Jones tops what he does the season before. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost to me crazy that in 2025 Jerry Jones is really able to do some outlandish things that you were like, there's no way he can do another thing, right? And it continues to build up. So why I'm bringing this into question is because star, Dallas Cowboys edge rusher Micah Parsons, he's up for a new contract. He wants a contract extension. He's got 1 year left. He wants a new extension. And it's been the talk of the town, right? It's been, what is Micah Parsons going to do? When is he going to get paid? Because eventually Micah Parsons is going to get paid. As a Cowboys fan, I can tell you that Micah Parsons will get paid. Now, what he is going to get paid is going to be very different than what the Cowboys could have paid him a year ago. That is fact. But what is also fact is that the Dallas Cowboys will pay Micah Parsons. So you have two facts, but two distant facts that then come together, and you say, why is Jerry Jones always at the root of this problem? Always. And it doesn't help that Jerry Jones now decides to criticize his players and forget pretty much anything he knows about the players. So let me get to this real quick, okay? The introduction press conference today for training camp. Training camp is starting all across the NFL, which very excited for, right? The NFL is now just moments away from beginning. We got the Hall of Fame game in less than pretty much 2 weeks. You know, the Chargers versus the Browns, I believe. But what is very exciting, I can keep going on how the NFL is exciting. You don't want to hear that. Let me backtrack. So the Cowboys introductory press conference just happened today. And obviously, Jerry Jones, the top question is going to be, when are you paying Micah Parsons? What's the holdup? What is all this? And it doesn't help that the general manager and owner, or I should probably say owner, then general manager, because he cares more about making money than actually managing a team. Get that correct. Doesn't even know how long Micah Parsons was out last season. In fact, he said that Micah Parsons missed 6 games, when in reality he missed 4. And this was his quote: "Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year." Those are the exact words of Jerry Jones. Now, for reference, I get what he's saying, right? He then would go on to talk about Dak Prescott. We made him the highest paid quarterback and whatsoever, and then he missed pretty much 2/3 of the season, which is true. But Micah Parsons, in 4 years with the Dallas Cowboys, has missed 5 career games, okay? He missed 4 games this year, which was a career high, and he only missed 1 game his rookie year. So, I mean, sure, there is reason to believe as an NFL player that, of course, you're going to probably get hurt. I mean, that's just the reality of being an NFL player, obviously. But the fact to throw that on Micah Parsons and say, well, you know, you might get hurt, so we really got to think about how much we really want to pay you. What? Jerry Jones, do I need to remind you who Micah Parsons is? He's a 2-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, which I know that doesn't mean much, but he's a 4-time Pro Bowler, 2021 Defensive Rookie of the Year. And just you have to understand the statistics, because he's played 63 career games. He has 52.5 sacks. That is, he became the 6th fastest player to 50 sacks. All 5 players in front of him, Hall of Fame players. J.J. Watt, DeMarcus Ware, Derek Thomas, Reggie White, who Reggie White did 50 sacks in 40 games, which is an absurd stat on itself. But besides the point, like, he's in Hall of Fame company. He's also, in all 4 seasons he has played in the NFL, has had double-digit sacks. There's only been 6 guys that have done that, and they're all Hall of Famers. So the stats speak for themselves, and I get it. There's some, you know, maybe the run support could be a little better for Micah Parsons, but here is the problem every year, and this is what I'm just saying that we need to start this. We need to start this is Jerry Jones needs to go to a retirement home. He needs to stop managing a football team, because every year it's something new, and something new also that blows up in his face. Like, he did not sign Dak Prescott till hours before kickoff. The money he could have saved by maybe signing him even 2 months before would have been drastic. So I'm looking at this and saying the Cowboys will never succeed until Jerry Jones is no longer the owner. And the thing is, Stephen Jones isn't any better, but at least there's some sort of change. So I don't even know what to say about this Cowboys team anymore. I really don't, because I've shaved my head for them. And for the real ball knowers out there, I've literally half shaved my head for this team. So they don't get any sympathy from me. I mean, the thing is, you just hate to see it go like this when there is talent on this team. Like, the Dallas Cowboys are not a talentless team. And I look, Dak Prescott, say what you want. He's a top 12 quarterback in the NFL right now. He's a top 12 quarterback, at least. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, stars, right? Running back situation is difficult. Offensive line has gotten better. Defense, whatever it may be. There is talent on this team. Micah Parsons, right? Osa Diggy. There are guys on this team. But it makes it so hard to root for this team when your management is literally blind to what actually happens on the field of play. Like Jerry Jones only cares about the money that is being put in his pockets. And so at this point, the only way to solve this solution is Jerry Jones needs to go to a retirement home and the Cowboys need to completely flip ownership, because this team will not succeed until all three facets, and I'm talking front office, head coach, and team, are all on the same page. I've talked about it on the show before. You can't win championships if everyone is trying to hit a different direction. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, they're going northwest, south around the whole entire globe. You can't win them. You can't win football games like that. So look, the Cowboys, they've got talent, but Jerry Jones is the problem. He's been the problem, and he will continue to be the problem. And until we figure something out to do with Jerry Jones, he will still be the problem. So I appreciate you guys hopping on here on a late Monday night. I really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I know, just to close this up, we're almost done with July. I mean, the fact that we're almost done with July, football season is coming up, NBA season, we saw Summer League wrap up. There's a lot more exciting stuff on the way. What is happening in sports across the world? Obviously, we still have baseball. Postseason is going to be very, very exciting. And we'll see what the Dodgers do. We talked about top of the show. Dodgers are going to have to kind of work things back. The batting's going to have to become a lot more effective at the plate. The pitching's going to have to, get guys more healthy. Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki are going to have to come back. But overall, there's optimism with the Dodgers. And I'll wrap with this. Congratulations once again to Dustin Proirer on a brilliant career that he's had in the UFC. And really just one of those sporting moments that felt it went beyond just two athletes dueling in a cage. Like that felt like something that is going to be remembered by every UFC fan and really should be talked about among sports fans, because that is the proper way to send someone out. Just the camaraderie between those two fighters was beautiful. And that's I'll finish on that, because I don't think there's a better way to finish. But I've been your host, Jude Reynolds Ocanas, here on a Monday night. I appreciate all of you guys that tuned in here on the Misfits. And I'll see you guys around the corner when we have another show on Thursday. Make sure to keep your ears out. We got certainly a lot of things brewing in the kitchen. I'll see you next time.